right, welcome inside the press room here at the Kroger Queen City Championship presented by P&G. We are joined with one of our sponsors, Exemptions, this week, Augusta National Women's Amateur Champion, Anna Davis. Anna, welcome to Cincinnati. Is this somewhere you've ever been before, and how are you finding the city so far?
It's been nice and wet, but it's been fun, really pretty here. I really enjoy the golf course. It's very similar to the one that I played at Junior Solheim, so it'll be exciting this week.
What are the similarities?
Green, pretty tree-lined for the most part and very flat, so.
I think the last time we saw you, you were playing in France at Evian.
Mm-hmm.
You've had quite a year of exemptions. This is your last one, and
Yeah.
I know you're disappointed with the LPGA Tour, but just kind of walk through your experience, this year, getting all these exemptions, playing in majors, and just kind of wrap that up.
It's been obviously like an amazing opportunity for the annual winner, for sure. It's really cool that they do this, and you kind of get to experience life on tour, and kind of like realize, like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do it? And I definitely want to do it in the future, so hopefully you'll see more of me. But yeah, it's been a really fun ride for sure.
Walk me through your last major at Evian. Obviously made the cut. That's a traditionally very tricky golf course, quite a feat to make the cut as an AM, not knowing the course that well.
Mm-hmm. It was a difficult course. Like if you hit fairways though, it should be pretty simple. But once I got used to it, it was pretty easy to make birdies. So making the cut was cool, and then just being in that atmosphere in general, it's a lot different than most tour events that I played in the last few months. So that event in particular was the one that stood out to me the most, the one I had the most fun at. So.
I know you don't play high school golf, but going back to what you just said was regular golf. How is it going to compare? Obviously going to miss life out here on tour.
Yeah, it's going to be different. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it'll be exciting. I'll have some stories to tell, so that'll be cool. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to miss this too much.
A friend of yours, it's a person that you've played with, Monday qualified for the third week in a row. 14-year-old Gianna Clement, 7 under yesterday in the qualifier. Yeah. Took a great picture and put it on Twitter, which I loved. But have you seen her this week? Like, she reached out to get advice or anything?
No, I just saw her in the parking lot yesterday before she teed off. I don't know. I just told her she's big time and to have a good round. So, yeah. But she's a good friend of mine, and she's solid. So, especially being at that young of an age, I thought I was young, and then she just qualified 3 times in a row, and I was like, maybe I'm not that young.
To see a friend like that have that much success? Obviously your friends have watched you have a lot of success this year. Is it cool to see another one of your friend group, be successful? Yeah,
it's super cool, and even like the LPGA, just allowing girls like this age to be able to go out and play, and it's definitely cool for sure, and growing the game like that.
Awesome. We'll open it up to questions in the room. Steve?
Anna, now that you're through this series of exemptions and invitations, what has been the biggest surprise playing out here?
I think just like how different it is from amateur golf. It's not hugely different, but it definitely is different. Just the whole atmosphere of it, you can just tell how individualistic it is, and how independent these girls are, and how mature they are. It's actually pretty cool.
Has there been anyone who has approached you and given you a specific piece of advice out here that you remember?
Not necessarily. I've played a few practice rounds with some of the girls, and they've all talked to me just about the whole experience in general and all the opportunities that have been given to me, and we kind of just talk about the future and what I'm going to do with my future and stuff like that.
Well, that leads to a good question. What are you going to do with your future?
I'm not sure yet. I'm keeping the college option open. I'm keeping the tour option open, so we'll see what happens after high school.
Awesome. Just to follow up a little bit. We have one more here.
As you reflect on your opportunities that you've had this year, what have you learned the most about yourself, and how have you seen yourself progress over the last year?
That's a good question. Just from all of the events, I've learned a lot, even just about my golf game in general, which has been super cool. You're with me. Especially being a teenager, you think you know everything, but you don't. So that's what I've been learning. I don't know everything, but just learning about my golf game and just the mental game too. It's huge out here. So.
They just announced that the Augusta National Women's Amateur Champion was going to be given an exemption in the next year's Chevron Championship. What was that like? I mean, I know you've played some big time tournaments, but I feel like the Chevron is, the LPGA Tour's equivalent of the Masters almost. And how excited are you to be, obviously playing in that championship, but also the first year it's going to be in Houston?
That'll be exciting. I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was busy last week, but I saw it on Golf Digest and a bunch of people sent it to me. So that'll be super cool playing in another major, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Let's chat a little bit about this week. Talk a little bit about the golf course. I know it's been pretty wet the last couple of days. What have you seen of it? What are your thoughts so far?
There are definitely going to be a lot of birdies out there. I think a low score will definitely win it. But I think it's definitely going to play a little tough. It plays a little long, especially just because of how wet it is right now. But they've been doing a good job of taking care of the course and all of that. So it'll be a fun week.
Is it going to be more ball striking key off the tee, or is it going to be more, trying to figure out the greens, do you think?
I'm going to say I think it's more ball striking, I would say, yeah.
Tree line golf course and try to keep it straight off the tee?
Yeah. I think so. I think it should be pretty, just hitting it straight, hitting greens, kind of going for pins, I would say.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions in here? Yep.
So I know you're from.
Can you go to the mic? Yep.
Hi, Anna. I'm Corbin with the Camel Country Club. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I know you're from San Diego. Have you ever been to Cincinnati before?
I've not. I've been in Toledo.
Gotcha. So you came in the north, and now you're coming south. What's probably the coolest place that you've been able to travel because of golf?
So I recently went to a trip to Europe. So I went to France and then I went to Scotland. So I think Scotland was super cool just because it's kind of like the home of golf and it has so much history there. And I got to play a bunch of courses there that have so much history. So I think that was definitely one of my funnest trips.
Got it. Cool. Well, hope you enjoy your stay.
Thanks.
you.
And chat a little bit about that. Just playing at Muirfield. I mean, being part of that inaugural field, the first time women have ever been able to play tournament golf at Muirfield. I mean, what was that like? That's got to hit you a little bit.
Yeah, I think Muirfield was definitely super cool. They let me into the the pro shop and the area inside. I mean, it has so much history. Just they have trophies from 1,000 years ago. It's whoa, that's crazy. But that was definitely a super cool trip. And then I got to go down the street to North Berwick, and probably one of the funnest golf courses I've played for sure. So yeah, just being in that town in general is super cool.
Well, as you look ahead to this week, just to be here as a sponsor's exemption and all the generosity you've gotten from the different tournaments this year, what's your kind of assessment of your 2022? We've still got a few months to go. You've had a big year, but how would you assess this year and what it's done for your game, what it's done for your mental attitude, especially as you go out and play another LPGA Tour event?
I mean, I think it's been super fun. Just the opportunities that have been given to me. I mean, I'm so thankful for them. I know that in the next couple of years, I'm definitely never going to forget the year I've had for sure. It's definitely been one of the best years of golf for sure.
Has it hit you yet? Everything that's gone on? I mean, I know you're pretty cavalier about things, but has it really hit you at all?
I don't think so. I think when I go back to normal events, it'll probably hit me and be wow, I did that. So yeah, I think it'll hit me eventually.
Awesome. Well, Anna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.